Hi, my name is Pranay Sandaji from Solve This New Productions. Welcome to our show today. I have Wayne Morgan, metaphysical researcher, and we're going to be talking about parenting and what I suppose people are calling now the new age. Wayne Morgan, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
We're going to talk a little bit about parenting today, and that and the crossover into metaphysical teachings.
Yeah, well, with the way things have been shifting on the planet, and also consciously with humanity over the last probably 100 years, obviously lots of organisations have been trying to update parenting skills and get better management running in their own homes, and also with the education system, they consistently updating it to actually bring it forward so our young people feel like they're becoming stimulated, or feel like it's, you know, something they want to go to rather than getting bored.
Why do you think that they're making those types of changes? I mean, just about went into it then.
Well, they're making the changes because we're changing as humanity is evolving consciously. We've got massive amounts of information available to us.
Yeah.
So even if kids go to school, they come home and they're just on the information web all the time.
Yeah.
So the education system has to be cutting edge to keep them interested.
Are they trying, are the changes taking place, do you think naturally, or are they trying to take place because there's an actual problem that's arising?
Well, there's a number of problems arising.
What kind of problems are we talking about?
Well, if you look at it, in 1999, a survey came out of the US that showed 1 in 2,000 children were developing some type of conscious disorder.
Right.
And last year, a survey came out and it showed 1 in 30 children are now developing that disorder. So I was working with a member of the New South Wales education system, and one of the biggest problems they were having in schools is these children don't behave what they consider normally.
Okay, what do people consider to be normal?
Right. But I do know that these type of children respond really heavily to erratic behavioural patterns in classrooms and that, and so they become erratic. Or one of the things that I've been working on personally is, what are they responding to? Are they responding to the environment? Are they responding to thought? Are they responding to what's actually being said? And some of my research has showed they're actually responding a lot to the thought that's in an environment, and we've been doing a number of things to prove this by getting families with erratic behaviour syndrome children and putting them in different environments, and then just observing behavioural patterns.
Okay, so I'm just going to qualify something before we move on to maybe a little bit more of the actual tools to do with parenting. Wayne is a father himself, a father of 2 boys, and so the things that we're going to talk about next, you've actually applied.
Yeah, of course. With my 2 children, I've been a solo dad for about 14 years, and I spent a lot of time focusing on my 2 boys and working on their problems, how their problems are being created, and am I part of those problems?
Okay.
And am I creating them as well with them?
Okay. Yep. All right. So you've got the experience directly through your own life, and then from what I also know, you also counsel lots of families as well.
Yeah. Well, I work with a number of families here in New Zealand, Australia, and the UK.
Okay.
With different problems. But what I've mostly found is some of the biggest problems are, or we do some examples are, you know, people are working a lot more to make a living. So there's a lot more stress in the adult community because they're having to do a lot more to just make ends meet. Okay. So that alone is having an effect on the family environment. So one of the points that I'd been looking at as a structure is, Dad's at work 60 hours a week, he gets 1 day a week off.
Yeah, that's pretty normal out there.
Yeah. And so then he's coming home and his 1 day off is the next day, so he's like looking forward to that, and his thought is spending time with his children.
Yeah.
But on his way home, he gets caught in a traffic jam. So what starts to happen then is his original thought, he's looking forward to getting home, breaks into thinking, and he starts becoming annoyed, frustrated in this traffic.
Yeah.
So by the time he gets home, that annoyance is more prominent than his original thought that he was looking forward to see his kids. So as he goes in the door, obviously he greets his children and wife, but he greets them with like probably a hug and other things, but his thinking is erratic.
Okay.
So those
And
children.
this is where the metaphysical is coming into it, right? There's people appreciate that they already know that kind of thing is happening to them. They're looking forward to seeing their children on the way home, but then when they get home, to them something happens, and then they end up being shitty to their kids, or not in the way that they would like to engage their kids, and the relationship starts breaking down. Now we're talking about a component where to pay attention to is the thoughts that are actually happening, and noticing more of those things rather than just blindly going through life.
Well, one of the things we're looking at is thought is very powerful. Thinking is very fragmented.
Yeah.
So if you have a thought and then thinking gets created within that thought, then the thought becomes fragmented.
Right.
Now, one of our surveys has been showing that quite a bit with children, that if you go into an environment with children thinking too much, it seems to create them to be erratic, or they, in a sense, it's not the attention they need. You see, children are looking for attention. Parents call it they give them love.
Yeah.
But really what they want is focused attention on them.
Okay.
And thought focuses attention.
Right.
But as soon as the mind starts thinking, that disperses that attention. So the children, as soon as you come in the door and you're thinking about the problem or the stress or whatever created that thinking, the children don't feel like that the focus is on them, and they haven't seen, say, Dad all week, so they want that focus on them. And so what they'll generally do then is Dad will come in, he's thinking, he's stressed, so he goes to the fridge and gets a beer, okay, and then basically loses that attention on them, and within an hour those children are starting to be naughty. So instead of Dad coming in with his original intent, that he thought that he was looking forward to engaging with his family, within an hour the kids are being naughty or behaving differently, so then instead of positive focus, then he's growling them and telling them off. And so they start to learn that to get attention from parents is to be naughty, because then it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. To children, attention's attention. If it's good attention or bad attention, they don't see it like that. They just get attention, so then they continue to actually become more erratically behaved. And I believe this is one of the main areas that if parents were being a bit more responsible about how they're feeling as they go through the door. Okay, so if they've had a bad experience as of coming home, to sit somewhere for 10 or 15 minutes and refocus. And a number of exercises that they can use to do that is to just create a repetitive thinking pattern. And that repetitive thinking pattern will actually start to settle them down, and it refocuses them.
Alright. Okay, so now you've got a little basic gist of what we're talking about here, when we're talking about metaphysics and parenting coming together. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back we're going to talk about specific tools for specific situations, something that you can actually try out at home. See you soon.